Welcome to another Monday morning with me, John Ashford, and my sister Lila. And this is Monday Mornings with us. How does it get fucking better than this?
It gets
You want
better
me to
when we don't start out with me almost spitting tea
spewing your
everywhere.
coffee or tea all over the planet? But she's selling oils, guys. So she's selling these essential oils behind her. Can you see? It's the nice display. The sign's gonna light up pretty soon. Like beep 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 beep. Buy me.
I have an essential oils problem, and at some point, I will become better at sharing about all of the offers that are available for healing. This,
Oh
this is
no.
a accidental, hilarious commercial.
Right.
I have been with this company for 15 years, and John's just finding out about this.
Wow. What essential oil company is it?
It's Young Living.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I buy oils through
doTERRA.
doTERRA. Yes.
Yeah.
Man, my job hit me up and I was like, okay. And I use them
Yeah.
at night in the diffuser and it helps me out.
Yeah, I use them for literally everything. They are my second medicine
Mm,
after food and prayer.
mm.
Um, so yeah, that's so I was cracking up, y'all, because hi, we're not live.
No, we're not. We're not looking for our phones. So you guys, that's the indication. See that, right? Wait, scramble time. What are the
but
messages?
but also John was like, "Are you selling those?" And we're live. And I was just like, "Yes, I am. No, I'm not. I should be." Would you like some oils, friends?
So what's been up in your world?
Um, mostly my friend John doing magical things to my energy and me feeling better.
How's it get better than this?
What about you? What's been up in your world?
Well, I'm a few ounces lighter, pounds probably. If nobody hasn't noticed, I got rid of my locks. And
Mhm.
it was kind of an interesting reason I did that because um, I decided it was time to make a change energetically. And I realized that my son is 26. So it'll be like almost 27 years that I had my locks. And uh, it was just a symbolic of releasing energy. Uh, a lot of stuff has been up in my world with uh, a lot of shit just been up in my world. And I just started to want to release that. And it was symbolic for me to release it. And it's kind of interesting uh, because the first thing that you said is that you look more like John. And when I looked in the mirror this last night when I got home, I was like, wow. First of all, judgment. Let go of all the fucking judgment. I was like, I was really terrified the way I was going to look without any hair. I was like, am I going to be attractive still without my hair? And yeah, that ran through my head. And my
Have you looked
sister,
at those lips yet?
thank you, sister. Uh, I and as soon as my sister Vanessa finished, she said, "Oh my God, you look gorgeous." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Well, that was one of my concerns right out the window because I was like, "What am I going to look like?" And then I started feeling lighter. Plugging my phone is about to die, y'all. So I started feeling lighter in like body weight. I was like, "Well, this is kind of interesting." And she said to me when she was cut it, she said we did a little ceremonial thing, so it's kind of cool. She made it kind of a special thing about like let's release this and she said let's release the weight of this that you've been carrying around and then every lock she cut she made something connected to one of those locks of releasing and uh and we did it we created this because I just out of the blue I was caught I was like because I'm like I watched this is my meditation I look at the moon cycles and I was like we have a full moon come she says yeah and she said it's the strawberry moon and I was like okay and she said the full moon was on the 14th and she said well if you want to release any things in some traditions interesting point of view of those fucking traditions, but I was gonna go with it because I was like, what's light to me? You can actually release things within 3 days of the new moon.
Yeah.
And it's just one of the things that people have done. And I said, okay, fuck it. I like it. Sounds like I'll roll with that. And so it was creating more and releasing more so I could significantly get back to more of my magic. And the realization of that started to happen because you know how you plan on something and it starts to happen and you things start to happen before you set the event. Well, that started to happen. Um, I My mom told me that I don't have. Oh, I can't remember. I don't know if I have those pictures of it. I have my mom's aunts from Alabama were pretty much probably what we would call in this world witches, or they did people came to them for readings and stuff like that. And my mom, when I started talking to my mom when I was probably in my late 30s, my mom said, "Oh my God, you're just like my aunts and that were in Alabama," because I started to do a lot of things that they were doing, not having no clue about it. Uh, well, I had this capacity all the time from the day I was in the seminary. I thought it was one thing, but I realized afterwards I have capacity with entities. And I thought that they went away. And what I come to realize is that they're an abundance around me. And what I start to realize is that they show up a lot. Like when you and I were just talking, my alarm went off because I have hours that I set to talk to entities. And then what really starts to happen is that my light and my screen will flicker on and off. And I never paid attention to that. I was like, I would sit there and be like, man, I don't have my capacity. Something's gone. Like now, it just went dark and it goes to light. And that happens all the time on different computers on my cell phone sometimes, and I realized it was an indication that we're here. And for me it was just like something I know might not make a lot of sense to other people, but it made a lot of sense for me because it was a matching energies. Because uh, I desire to have more of my magic. Yes, I am a magical dude, but I decided that somewhere I relinquished something, and this was going to be a symbolic starting over, and being more present with everything, and not as judgmental. And I still, because one of the things, this is my biggest goal, even outside. I know some of the people here are access, but even outside of the access world, how do people wake up with ease? And what I mean by that, let me explain to you what I mean by that. I realize at nighttime, this is just me, that I go places and I've been scattered. And I've been scattered because I will eat something that I say in the morning. Like I wake up this morning and say, John, we're not gonna have any alcohol, any sweets. We're gonna do this. And by the time midnight happens, I've done just the opposite. And it's not a judgment like a wrongness of it. It's just like I lost the awareness of like what's happening at that time.
Mhm.
So this morning when I woke up, I said, I'm getting back to me. Yet I did a live Facebook Live. If you anybody since you go back and look, I think what was that Thursday? I did a Facebook Live in the morning. And what happened is that I started to realize that I wanted to get back to me. I'm going fishing Monday. I mean, I waited till the best day, like it's raining. I'm not going out in the rain. I know I'm not the time. People are like, oh, you go out in the rain? No, I'm not doing that. So Monday we're supposed to have a nice day weather. It's Juneteenth day here in Oregon and Washington. I'm off. I'm going to go out to Silver Lake. I'm gonna see what happens at Silver Lake with me and the fish. Um, but then this morning I woke up and I got into meditation, and I haven't done that consistently. So since Wednesday, the full moon, I've been doing. I did it Wednesday and Friday. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do short spurts until I get to back to this. Because I used to meditate for like an hour and 2 hours easily. Easily, I could do a 2 hour meditation. And I got so busy getting caught up in my business that I forgot my practices. And this symbolically of releasing whatever that was, those energies, the old connections. Because there's a lot of things I read that you could like connect stuff to your locks and stuff. Well, yeah, that's just an interesting way of looking at shit. But I really wanted to start over. I called yesterday the rebirth, a reset, and the rebirth of really getting back. When you say, "Oh, it's you," and so I was like, it felt like being bald like this. I felt like a scene out of Matrix when they put that thing in what's his name's hand. I was like, I'm not. And you come back and I'm like, oh shit, you know. But it's actually me being the source of that, um, and not really allowing anybody else to get in the way of that energy. Not allow anybody to get in the way because I did a group yesterday with a group of men from Sovalti. What I was saying with them is that I was like, I really been looking at this concept, and I'm gonna segue a little bit about and why for this part of my journey of like choosing. What were we supposed to talk about today?
Acknowledgements and allowance. Keep
Yeah,
talking.
yeah. Um, I was in the seminary. For people who didn't know, I was in a seminary from I think I was 12 when I first went to 12. I went to Liberty, Missouri, which is north of Kansas City, Missouri. And I went there. The first time I think I went there might have been 11, and I started school at 13 or 12, whatever my eighth grade year was. And I was fully into the seminary. And I was like, because me and this dude named Yeshua, which most people call Jesus, I was like, I know this guy. Not like just I saw a picture of him when I was a kid, and I was like, but I really know this energy of this guy. Well, I got there and I stayed for the seminary for like 7 years. It was cool, but it was just not fulfilling for what I know of what Yeshua was. And I wanted that energy because I was intrigued with the things that Yeshua did. Years later, I got into E5 and I met this one sister, Star, and she told me that and scripture was written, and somebody sent it to me recently that Christ told people in the crowd that you will be able to do the deeds he did and greater. And I always saw that people didn't, they had it out of sort, this whole idea of, and so long story short, let me get back. So I told these guys, I described to them, I am who I am. And I told them, and you're described as a human being. I am who I am. I am is first person singular of being. Human being means that you must be God. Now, a lot of people get all distorted by that because, like, what are you talking about? No, I'm not. What I'm saying is your essence is God. And what would you live like if you realize that you were God? Yeah, now you can be corrupt and do some Avenger, the bad guy, like the Loki shit. Okay. Or you could actually be, but there's no judgment. That's I mean,
Like,
that's
are you reading my mind over here? Carry on.
yeah. And you would actually walk through life a little bit more aware because you would realize the potency and the power that you be. And I think that people don't have that and it's outside of themselves. And this just means it's not dinging anybody. And so I'm kind of an odd duck because one of the things I look at when I cut my hair is like I'm really getting back to what I know. And source of me being connected to God is what I'm looking for. So this was part of that. And this going fishing is even going back to now I'm just thinking out loud, the whole thing of uh, Yeshua challenging the cats to hang out being fishermen of men and women, you know, uh, there's something there. So I'm in this discovery mode and I'm just gonna take it, I'm taking it light, I'm letting go of the judgment, and I feel a lot lighter. I don't know how to describe it other than that. The weight of locks, right? There's one thing, but energetically, I'm feeling like I'm getting back to self.
One of my friends cut their hair last week,
Uh-huh.
and we get on a call together. And another friend asked this friend, "How do you feel?" And they said, like, I've released the weight of the expectations of the patriarchy and capitalism or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that feels quite you.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I didn't have that experience when I cut off all my hair. I cut off all my hair and I looked at the floor and I was like, but I didn't realize how much hair was on my head before I cut it all off
yeah.
either.
Yeah. I feel that this is an opportunity for me to get to something that I've been searching for a long time. And what it is so okay. So here's for my 9 trannies folks out here from Access World. I've been a my mom mischievous kid is what my mom always called me. I've been mischievous from the day I was. There's a picture that I have on Facebook. I think I'll put it on Facebook so people can see it when I was a little kid, and I think I showed it to you. I was in swimming trunks. I'm sitting in. I'm like 9 or 10 years old, and I remember being really mischievous. You know, I was like, what was that cartoon with the little bad kid with the neighbor? Oh man, he is Dennis the Menace. I was the black version of Dennis the Menace. Okay. My brother would say that, you're just like a menace. Okay. So when I heard the 9 trannies stuff, it really piqued my interest. And before I go there. And so at the same time, I'm going back to my EFA stuff. So I lit my candles yesterday. I'm going back to some of the things that got me before that I was doing like 15, 16 years before I even got into Access. And so what happened is when I got to Access, when I got to EFA, I was intrigued when I was told that I would like to have this energy around me of Shango. And he was like this magician healer, and I was like, "Oh wow, that fits with me," because I really was interested in Yeshua, Shango. Okay, I'm vibing with this. And then I got to Access, and I heard this concept. They talk about 9 trannies, and it hit me that I want to be that energy. I am that energy, but I really want to have greater access to this energy now. And I'm not going to go through all the steps that people have to take to do that, because as the mischievous kid and the way my life has been, I never followed those fucking rules like that. So why should I start now with my own magic? And I know that you can't control anybody, and I'm not doing this for any controlling thing, but being the greater source of healing, of self-healing, is what I'm after. And you, I can hear you saying, "Well, are you now?" I mean, yes, but not how I know it can be.
Yes, and there's a lot in there, and we probably don't have time to unpack it all, and we probably don't want to unpack it all on a recording. I will say though that for those of us who want to see other people alleviated from suffering,
Yeah,
it is a challenging path to leave people to their own sovereignty.
yes, but
because we all get to make choices.
Yes, and so I'm gonna get to this, and I want to get back to that what you're saying, but I'm gonna just give this analogy. When Dr. J came into the NBA, for those who live in the US, and Dr. J started flying through the air with a basketball, he started slamming.
We're talking about Michael Jordan, right?
No, Dr. J.
Okay, carry on.
Dr. J is from the 76ers. He played for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Okay,
that's where Michael Jordan got the idea from.
Okay.
Once Dr. J started, Jordan came along and started perfecting it.
Okay, so you're trying to be the 100th monkey.
Because if something is conceived then it can change. It takes just one person conceiving so that it will be a difference, because it hasn't showed up on the before Dr. J started doing that. Maybe it was somebody else, but not, before Dr. J or one of them, I think it was one other guy who was doing something like that. It wasn't showing up in the NBA at all.
Yeah.
They started it, and then it was now everybody can do it. So for me, I'm not willing to buy that it can be done, because if I can conceive something, then I can start putting the energy in the universe, and the vastness of the universe, what can be tapped in. And all the writers, here's my sci-fi woo-woo shit. All those people, they're tapping in some energy when they see people do certain things, that it has to be a possibility somewhere in one of the multiverse. And so I am interested, and I know there's people going like, this motherfucker crazy. A little bit, yes. I am interested in bringing that forward, because I think that could be a source, not the only source, a source of greater change on planet Earth to be healed.
I feel that.
And so I'm not willing, like that when people used to tell me something I couldn't do when I was little, fuck you. I went to the seminary in 1976 from Chicago to Liberty, Missouri. Don't tell me I can't fucking do shit. I found it. And so for me, if I could do that at an 11, 12-year-old, what the fuck am I, what, and somewhere along the way, I forgot that. Now, I'm not saying this has to show up exactly that, but I want to be in that energy. And so this is why I've done this, because I am on another, I'm following this rhythm. And yeah. And the judgment is like, I'm willing to let go. You were saying something about judgment, like when I looked at myself in the mirror, or you were talking about, or before we came on, you said about where are the places that you judge yourself. Well, I judge myself because I said now my round head meets my round body, but uh
But you're so cute.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. But last Friday was this is my first full week. I'm going back to the gym at noon. I joined Orange Theory, and I joined that because my body was that's funny. Last week when I was in Chicago, Tuesday, I woke up and my body said, we want something different. And so we need something motivation. So I joined this Orange Theory. And in the process of joining that, I've gone, and this is going to be my second day, because I'm doing 3 days a week. And then I'm walking or doing whatever else I need to do. I'm Tai Chi's, I'm starting back up too, because I'm really getting back to those essential things that made me groovy, baby. When I woke up this morning, I got up and I had to shave a little bit here again because of some nub stuff coming up. I'm like, oh my God, this is kind of interesting. And then I looked at my body because I had any clothes on. I was like, oh my. I was like, oh my. And I was like, and then I smiled to the parts of my body that I judged all the time. I was like, okay, what else is possible with this now? So
that's a future conversation that we can have. But body judgment is an interesting thing.
Oh my, yes.
Mine is a little bit different. It's not about how my body looks. It's about how it behaves.
Say more.
We're always fighting. Oh. My body is always like, can I have a nap? Could you not eat 7 of those? And I'm always like, but it's good. And then I'm sneezing and my eyes are running and I'm mad because why the fuck am I allergic to everything that I want to eat?
That.
Did you eat too fucking much of it?
That. So that is the thing that I'm searching over in this energy of having more of awareness, like of every fucking thing that I put in my mouth. Having awareness of that, because how many times do we do things? It's kind of weird. That sounds kind of weird when I said it, but
I didn't think about it until you said it. Carry on.
Yeah. Automatic. How many automatic pilots do you run on?
I don't think there's any calories on those. Sorry. We're clearing people's automatic pilots. How many automatic pilots do y'all run on?
Yes.
Are some of your automatic pilots middle school boy brains?
Yeah. kind of interesting, isn't it? Uh, but yeah, what automatic pilots do we run with our body? And this is for me a step towards letting go of those AIs, those automatic pilots, so that I just have a greater desire to be present. So like when I wake up in the morning, and I do this a lot, y'all. I wake up in the morning and I'm all tangled in everybody else's shit energy. And I think I have money problems. I think my health is bad. I think that I'm sad. And what I fucking realize more and more is that I have the capacity of being like Xavier in X-Men, and I don't need the hat to tap into everybody's world. I can just fucking tap in. And so I've been playing with the concept, John. If you can tap in to the negativity, to the poverty, to the yuck, stuck, what the fuck, what would it be like to start tapping in to that person who's joyful? Yesterday, I watched part of it because then it disgusted me after a while. Mary Poppins. There's a scene in Mary Poppins where they're Dick Van Dyke and whoever that, I can't remember the lady, and the kids, they're like at this park and they jump into this animated world. I'm like, what would it be like for us to jump into animated world of possibilities? Just like they were able to do that. And see, those are the type of things, this nine training shit that I'm like, if somebody could see that shit, that can happen to someone in the multiverse. And for those who people don't believe, that's on you. That's cool. But I'm looking for that energy that could create another space or more space for more healing on planet Earth. And I do realize, because I know what you're going to say to me before, that and a lot of this, a lot of this shift and change is because of my mom and my dad and my wife being not feeling very well. And I know that's their choice, and I know that they have to get themselves in and out of this. And
Not just choice, but also journey.
right. It's their journey, and I'm still not 100% that we can't have. I'm still looking at how we can be better better in communion with everyone. And this is I use my parents to be a greater. Okay, so here's
We're
the
gonna
thing.
we're gonna talk more deeply about this in the future, but I have a rather visceral example.
Yes.
My mother was on 13 drugs. 13.
Yeah.
I look at my mom and I say, if you just cook the greens and the salt pork separately, I wasn't telling her not to eat her fucking pork.
Yeah.
Just don't drown your greens in it, maybe?
Yeah.
My mom cut me off mid-sentence and was like, I'm eating my greens the way I eat my greens.
Yeah.
Well, homie, spark up a cigarette and take your pills. Like, choice. My mom chose her cigarettes and her salt pork soaked greens. Not even with like good, healthy, well-loved pigs like the ones that came from our farm, but like grocery store salt pork.
Yeah.
And like, that's her choice.
Yeah.
So when I say that, like, you can be all of the magic on the planet, and people's journeys are going to be their journeys. Their experiences are going to be their experiences. And you can only sprinkle so much fairy dust into somebody else's experience. They've got to allow that. They've got to receive it. They've got to take it in. They've got to get into alignment with it. Otherwise, you're just wasting fairy dust.
Yeah. But I keep on asking the question, is there still another possibility with it? Because see,
you
how
don't
many
want to leave people to their experiences.
Yeah. Because here's because it I don't know how Okay, and this is just symbolic. Uh, I was told I had a reading done a while back by a Chief Baba when I was in Ifa, and when he told me the Orisha that was with me is Shango. He told me Shango never loses. In the stories that they tell about Shango from West Africa, Shango never loses even in death. And if that's part of the energy that I roll with, then I'm gonna play with that bitch for a while. I am because I
I'm fun.
yeah. But I know that, and I'm not stupid to what you're saying about the journey that people have. But and in closing, because I got to get to another meeting. Check this out, y'all. A group of men told me a series of times. A group of men have told me in this group I do, Sovalti, that they might have made a different choice if they would have the information, that some of the information I started sharing at an
Yeah.
earlier time period. I
Yeah.
guess that's what my magic I'm looking for to do. How do I get the magic out to people more and earlier than when
Mm,
after
see,
trauma?
that's the thing though. You get it when you get it. And we'll continue this conversation because you got to go do stuff and I've got to eventually go do stuff too. But I do want to tether that a little bit too. Like, if I knew now, if I knew in 2000 what I know now, my children would not be here.
Yeah.
Full stop. Hardcore. Because I would have cut their dad the fuck off.
Mhm.
Then,
Right.
if I made any different choice, then my life would be different. Do I know that my life would be better? No.
Yeah. Sure.
Just that it would be different.
Different. Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
almost guarantee you I wouldn't be this powerful.
Mm,
Because, like, if we look back at this last relationship, I needed that because I'm really fucking hard headed, y'all. Hard headed.
yeah. She's hard headed, but she's not willing to
Hard headed
acknowledge
and stubborn.
the strength that she is at the core.
Oh, I
See,
am strong and
you
powerful
can't
and all
make
that
you
shit.
can't.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I thought I was done with codependence. If I had gotten into any other configuration of a relationship,
Mhm.
it would have just confirmed the codependence. I wouldn't have unraveled and healed it. I would have like slapped some glaze on it and thought it was cute. I
But
needed the
but when you
experience that I
so
had.
so so I hear that, but if you if you choose another path, another set of symbols come with that path too. So if you take the road to St. Louis, or to if I drive here now and get in my car and get from leaving Camas, get on 84 and drive to you, there's going to be a different experience than if I go to Portland Airport and fly to St. Louis and then come to you. It's going to be same destination, different means of getting there, different experiences, different things that creates a different trip. I'm not going to need to spend as much time.
Right, but do you have access to, do you have the capacity to get on a plane or do you have to drive?
But it depends on what choice you make at the beginning, because at any time I can steal money, get on a plane, do anything. I mean, there's so many different factions that come up with that.
You
So
can make different choices throughout the journey. That's true.
yeah, and so that means it's going to change. And what I'm saying is, we might be saying the same thing. What I'm saying is, a whole lot of people buying this concept, and I do have to get going 4 minutes into this concept of Yeshua, and I'm gonna stop there because that's a whole nother thing. That's not enough time. Yes.
Stay tuned,
Stay
friends.
tuned. We'll be back the next following week. I hope you have a wonderful day. If those of you who celebrate Juneteenth, that you're off Monday, have a nice Monday. We'll
Enjoy
be
the
back.
holiday. I hope you have leftover barbecue from yesterday.
Yes, we hopefully will be eating fish that night that I caught. So, um, love you people. Have a wonderful time. Love this sister. I'll see y'all later. Peace and blessings.
Bye,
Bye.
friends.